Simulation 197 has finally received an update. In version 1.1 of Simulation 197, the game has finally received custom map support. In the update, you will be able not to only enjoy the default map, but to also have the ability to play new maps created by other people and also have the ability to make your own maps for the game. Currently, version 1.1 is only supported for Windows, but in the future, support for both Mac and Linux will come for this update. The reason why they don't have support for this update is due to the system the update uses to load maps, which is currently a Windows-only method. In order to load custom maps in the Simulation 197, you must first start up the newly updated version of the game. When you do this, the directory for placing custom maps will be created in your user folder, named Simulation 197. Opening this folder will show a text file named map name. This text file will be how the game will know which map to load on startup. The default text in this file will be none, indicating that no custom map will be loaded. Inside this folder, you will want to create a subfolder for your custom map. The name of the subfolder is the indicator on where to load, so make sure to name the subfolder accordingly. If you have the map already, which will be in the J3O format, place it inside the subfolder, and make sure to name the J3O file map. The J3O format is the format used for these maps because the game is built on the JMonkey engine, and that engine uses J3O files for 3D scenes. Change the text inside the map name text file to the name of the subfolder that contains the J3O. When this is completed, load up the game again, and your map should properly load up. And there you go. You loaded up your first custom map. In order to create maps for Simulation 197, you're going to need a tool to create and edit J3O scenes, such as the JMonkey SDK or JMonkey Builder. You'll also need some knowledge with the JMonkey engine and 3D mapping. In this video, we're going to be using the JMonkey SDK because I'm much more familiar with that, but you can use JMonkey Builder if you know how to use it, and as long as you follow the structure of the map. In order to download the JMonkey SDK, you're going to need to go on the GitHub for the JMonkey SDK. Click on the releases for it and download it for your OS. Now, you need to understand the structure of the Simulation 197 map. Now, the structure for it has 5 different nodes. All these nodes are groups that are inside of the scene root, which is the map, the scene. And these 5 groups or nodes are collidables, def, checkpoints, clip, and final. All these nodes have their own different purposes. Collidables have, in the objects in a collidables node, will be physically collidable to the player, such as platforms and walls and floor. Def, the node, objects in that node, when touched by the player, will kill it, so those will be the obstacles. Objects in the checkpoint node, when touched, will trigger a checkpoint and set a checkpoint at the location of the object. Clip P, reasons why it's Clip P, there's no reason why, but you still have to use it in order to have the proper structure. The player will clip through it if you collide with it. The object is non-collidable. And final, any objects in the final node, when touched by the player, will trigger end game sequence, which will then end the game and show the credits and then close the game. Any objects that are not inside these nodes will not be given attributes for their role and will not be scaled properly for the game. So if you don't want anything to be inside, don't put it outside, because objects will not be properly put in the game and it will not be properly put. But certain objects can work outside regardless of the fact that it's not going to be used, and sometimes it's even beneficial. Like sky outside is actually the skybox for the map. and doesn't need to be scaled because the purpose isn't to be in the 3D space, but rather the skybox. So that will work perfectly. Okay, now I'm going to show you how you will actually create the map using the SDK. So obviously you're going to need the JMonkey SDK in order to do this. So first we're going to create a new project. Project will be a placeholder for holding our resources for the map. We're not actually going to be making a program though. So let's just name it, I don't know, Simulation 197 Map Making. Sure. So this is our project. It has a Java folder, but we're not actually going to be using that. Instead, we're going to be using the project assets. Now, technically, you can make the entire map from scratch, but for the sake of ease and simplicity, I have uploaded the map from Simulation 197 onto GitHub and all the resources for it, with all the textures and J3O files and everything. So you can use this. So if you download it, you'll be able to use this for the project. It's the entire thing. So you can have a sample for it. You will want to take the assets folder from this and go to the project file for the JMonkey project. Typically it would be in your documents folder, but it could be somewhere else if you've set it. So we made it Simulation 197. Here it is. So we can go in here and there's an assets folder. We can paste the assets folder. And now we have all the resources put into this project. Going back to this, we can now see we have the resources for our project. We have all the texture files, we have all the photos and material files for the project. Now we can open a scene editor by going to this and going into Edit Scene Composer. And now we have the map. The map that's in the default Simulation 197. Now, there's something you can probably tell is a bit off, is the fact there is no skybox. This is a common issue coming with loading other things, mainly because the skybox is not actually externally but internally loaded. So, an easy way to fix this is that this is the skybox broken. You just want to delete it. And we can create a new one. So we will go to Scene Root, add Spatial, Skybox. And then we'll set it to multiple texture, because every single side is their own individual texture for the skybox. And then we're going to have it, because we have the assets already for the project, set it to grid. Set it for grid for every single one. And there we go. And now we have a proper skybox for the map. As you can see, we have all the necessary nodes for the project, whether it be collisions, def, checkpoints, clip, and final, as described in all the other ones. Now, at this point, as long as you know how to use the scene editor, you can make any of the maps you want. So, for simplicity, I'm going to delete all of the unnecessary resources and get a bare bones structure. I'm going to put it in time lapse, and you can see me removing all the stuff from the map so we can have a sample template to start off to making a map. And there we go. We have all the bare bones structures we need. We have the box, the platform, we have 2 checkpoints, we have the invisible floor def, and some lava. We have the instructional clip, a skybox, and the final box. Now I'm going to use all these resources and make a simple map. And there we go. I've made a very simple map which has jumping, checkpoints, and lava. Now we can use this map and save it using Control S. It says saved right here. We can now close this map and we have the J3O file already made. We can open it back up and see everything. So now we're going to go back to the documents folder and go to the assets. And now we have this file. This is the map file we have. We can copy our map and we can go to our Simulation 197 map folders. We can go to our Simulation 197 map folders. Now we gotta make a subdirectory for our map. Let's do video map. Easy. Put the J3O file in here, go into the map name and changing it to video map. That's for the name of the subdirectory. And now if we launch up Simulation 197, which I'm just going to launch up via the actual source code, we have our custom map that we just made. Now, if you notice, the skybox is not there. That might have been a mistake of mine, probably because I reloaded it, but if I do it once more, which actually I'm going to do that right now. There we go. I just fixed it by doing my earlier fix. I had to reset it by accident, so I did have to redo the fix. But here we go. I have my map. And that is how you make your own maps in Simulation 197.
TGC Productions.